All eyes have remained on Jalen Hurts after his 3-turnover-filled performance versus the Green Bay Packers, but some new footage might be enough to silence at least some of the haters. Plus, Nick Sirianni defends Bryce Huff, but another edge rusher is already taking his reps. And hear why Micah Parsons, he's terrified of the Birds' newest weapon. I'm Thomas Mott. This is the Thomas Mott Show. No one had a better opening weekend than Saquon Barkley. Not only did the Eagles' newest running back score 3 times in his debut for the Birds, he helped Jalen Hurts have a 152.1 passer rating when targeting running backs in Week 1, not only the highest in the NFL, but 70 points higher than Hurts' previous passer rating to RBs in 2023.
Hey, 3-piece? Welcome to the Birds, baby!
But Saquon wasn't just winning on the field, as he held 2 of the NFL's top 5 selling jerseys after Week 1, no surprise there, and apparently made the time to go to his nephew's football game just hours after landing in Brazil the following day. Thumbs up for a good uncle. But it's not just us Eagle fans noticing how great Saquon Barkley looks. Even future Eagle Micah Parsons apparently took notice of this Week 1 performance.
Saquon Barkley adding to this Eagle offense, I think was better than a lot of people ever imagined. Now, for granted, they had some great running backs come through there. Sorry, my apologies. They had some great running backs come through there, right? They had Miles Sanders, DeAndre Swift. Now they just added Saquon. Each all of them went Pro Bowl, All-Pro. So I already expected Saquon to do that. But I think Saquon has a chance to be Offensive Player of the Year in this new offense. I mean, receiving touchdown, 2 rushing touchdowns, over 100 total all-purpose yards. It looked very dynamic, and he looked very explosive. He looked very back to normal Saquon. But this is like a brand new Saquon. He looked like he got a breath of fresh air. And no offense, sometimes you do need a breath of fresh air out of organization. Sometimes the organization really don't want you to succeed and things like that. And I'm not saying that happened. In business happens like that. But this is like a whole new, brand new Saquon. He looked great.
Now, obviously, Barkley's going to be a massive part of the Eagles' offense, not just in Week 1, but going forward. Although, I did like the fact that Nick Sirianni did confirm yesterday during his press conference that the team does have a plan to make sure Barkley stays as fresh and healthy as possible all season long, despite a heavy 26-touch opener last Friday.
You try to manage them more within practice. So, something like that with Saquon having that many touches, we'll have a plan for that this week in practice, where we can take some of the load off them there. But every time you go into the game, every game's so important in the NFL that it's hard to say when he's got a hot hand like that too, to say, hey, you don't want to keep giving him the ball because you're trying to win every single game that you play. So again, that's our job as coaches to manage that throughout the week during practice, and games will take care of itself as it goes.
Now, speaking of great running backs, yesterday I hit 60,000 subs here on the channel. I cannot thank you guys enough. Also gave the tickets away to Void's Way, the winner of the ticket giveaway yesterday. He received confirming them, but now it's time to go ahead and give away the signed, a lot of you guys have been waiting for this, Brian Westbrook jersey. See the signature right over there. Hopefully you see it. Yep, there it is right there. To one person who goes on this video, drops a like, obviously is a subscriber, and comments Westbrook. Go ahead and do it down below right now. It's our 60K subscriber giveaway, and we're going to do this later on this week, so drop your comment right now. Now, another Eagle made his debut last night in former center Jason Kelce, this time off the field on Monday Night Countdown, and obviously he was fantastic on camera as we expected. The only problem was he apparently forgot his bag and had some pretty funny wardrobe issues.
All that said, Jason Kelce is wearing a shirt he got at the mall because he left his travel bag in the truck. Left the bag in the truck.
Now, perhaps the most criticized Eagle the past few days has been, of course, naturally, quarterback Jalen Hurts, whose 3-turnover performance, plus almost a 4th there at the goal line at the end, has really been the talk of the town in terms of the Inquirer and WIP, and a lot of Birds fans who are wondering, does Jalen Hurts suddenly, at least truly, have a turnover problem after being really extremely careful during the 2022 season, and also, of course, during Eagles camp this year? And well, listen, the first interception on the Eagles opening drive, no doubt, dumb mistake, can't make this throw, just dump it off and live to die another day. There's a new angle of Hurts' second interception that he threw in the end zone to Jair Alexander, and it shows it's not as bad as we originally thought. Watch Brian Baldinger's breakdown on this quote-unquote bad Hurts interception.
Let's watch this red zone interception here, because it always falls on the quarterback, even though it's not always on the quarterback. The protection is fantastic. It's really just a cradle of love right there. It's a good pocket. If you're going to get outside the pocket, though, all right, you hope your receiver's going to go uncover. And A.J. Brown does. He's got his hand up in the air right there. In fact, he's got 2 hands in the air. That gives Jair Alexander eyes on him. So Jalen's going to throw it. And the throw's not bad. But right here, AJ slips. So he can't adjust to the ball. Like everybody slipped in this game. And he slips and allows Jair to get to the ball before AJ can. So credit Jair. It's a great play by him. Great play. Brings it out of the end zone. But, I mean, you're not trying to throw it to him. Your receiver's slipping in the end zone and can't adjust to the ball. And I'm sure Jalen's pissed about the whole thing, but it's part of playing on that field, that soccer field in Brazil.
Now again, throwing across your body, it's always bad, no excuse there. But A.J. Brown, from that camera angle, was really wide open. Hurts might be a tad late, but if A.J. doesn't slip, that's either at least an incompletion or A.J. is A.J. and makes a great play for a touchdown. Again, I'm not defending Hurts' decision, really, on a couple of throws the other night, but I think we're being a little bit overdramatic about what was, again, all in all, a really great evening for QB1. Hurts was fantastic against the blitz, talked about that yesterday, but also dramatically increased his throws both across the middle and to the left side of the field. He also was really, really clutch when the Eagles needed him to be at the end of the first half, and really on that Birds' final 7-minute drive to virtually seal the game. Plus, it is week 1 without any preseason time, and while Coach Sirianni confirmed the emphasis this week will be not to turn the ball over again, he did agree that Jalen, a little rusty, had a really good overall night versus the Packers.
Yeah, obviously we're hyper focused on the football. We talk about the football a lot. Jalen touches the ball every down. And so obviously you never want turnovers. He's trying to make a play, but we gotta take care of the football, and he's gonna want those plays back. Obviously both of them are in 3rd and long scenarios, so being able to take what the defense gives them in those scenarios is going to be key. Not concerned. He made a lot of good plays in this game. Like we talked about the 4-minute, even with some of these plays that didn't go his way, he made a lot of really good plays. A bunch of throws that the touchdown throw to AJ, the touchdown throw to Saquon, the 4-minute throws to Devontae. Like there's a bunch of plays there. There was a 4th down throw that he made, 4th and 3, where I thought he really made a really good throw to keep the drive alive on our 2-minute drive at the end of the half to Devontae. And so made a lot of good plays. Listen, we all have a lot of things to clean up. Myself, coaches included. We got a lot of things to clean up that we want to do better, but just in those scenarios, being able to take what the defense gives us is going to be probably the main coaching point that we talked to him about. But again, made a lot of big-time plays in that game that helped put that game in our favor.
When talking about the good, I do think Eagles offensive coordinator Kellen Moore showed a ton of improvement for this offense, which obviously did help Jalen a lot, including moving A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith all over the formation on Friday night to the tune of upping Smitty's time in the slot from 22% last year, which is virtually criminal, to 54% versus the Packers, and A.J. Brown's slot time from 27% to 36%. Clearly, it did make a huge difference in getting these receivers open. What's less clear, though, is the Eagles' view of pass rusher Bryce Huff after his zero-pressure 30-snap performance versus the Packers. And while I do think Bryce Huff does deserve a little bit of the benefit of the doubt, same with Jalen Hurts, week 1, terrible field conditions, slipping and sliding all over the place, there still are some big concerns with the Birds number 0. For instance, Jalen Carter and Morojomo had double the amount of pressures as Bryce Huff did, and even Nolan Smith, props to him, recorded a pressure right here and played a lot more snaps than Huff did. But I definitely didn't have Bryce Huff having less snaps than Nolan Smith on my bingo card for game 1. Credit to Nolan for having not only a solid night, but starting to really take snaps away from the $17 million man in Huff. Now again, I want to wait to really rip on Bryce Huff, at least give him time in the Eagle defense to prove he's either good or not good, but I just wanted to at least note the fact that Nolan Smith, again, not a bad opening debut after a suspect preseason. I'll definitely be watching both pass rushers on Monday night versus Kirk Cousins, who was not only hit multiple times versus the Steelers in week 1, but now apparently has some wondering if he's fully recovered from his Achilles tear. How about NFL Next Gen Stats noting Cousins moved an average of 3.1 yards per dropback in this game, which is the least dropback movement he had in a single game of his career by more than a full yard, which former NFL quarterback Kirk Bankert emphasized in a tweet yesterday, saying, after further review, it doesn't look like Kirk Cousins is physically ready to play football, and I don't think he gives the Falcons the best chance to win under his current circumstances. He does not look fully healthy or explosive with his Achilles by any means. Again, good news for the Eagles, safe to say, if Huff goes out, gets 2 sacks, has 5 hurries, and outperforms Josh Sweat or Nolan Smith on Monday night, all the Bryce Huff drama, just like the Jalen Hurts drama, is going to disappear very quickly. Still, I did find this exchange between Sirianni and an Eagles reporter talking about the Huff situation to be interesting, as Sirianni tried very hard to downplay the whole situation.
Yeah, just the way the snap counts went for that day. Sometimes you're in a drive, like there's different reasons for, how the drive's going. If they're going and they were going on the ball, at certain points. So like some of those plays can kind of build up, in that game with the style of game it was and with some of the tempo that was happening. Those guys, I don't know exactly how many more reps was it, Jeff?
I think it was just a couple for Brandon and one for Nolan. Are you? This is the guy that you gave 51.
Yeah, I know, but when it's that close, when it's like one more or two more, I mean that the context of that, I didn't know exactly what it was, but yeah, I mean it's a couple more and just like with the catches or with the ball, the touches, that can go different ways each game. I knew it wasn't that much more, so okay.
Yeah, I know that you said that, and maybe Vic has said this too, that it's a new scheme for him. Is that
sure.
Is that? And Huff didn't really produce much.
No,
but are you guys concerned?
Yeah, no, not at all. Again, like I said, Jeff, it's just the way sometimes the way it goes, and again, you want to keep guys fresh as how it goes and throughout the game. Pardon me, but sometimes that's very similar to how the touches on offense go as well.
Still, though, I guess it could be worse. You could be the Jets and not only lose to the Niners without Christian McCaffrey yesterday, but you could have traded for Haason Reddick, decided not to pay him, and now sit back and watch Reddick miss game after apparently game, which will cost him an estimated $80,000 per game he's not lining up to rush the passer in a Jets uniform. Good perspective on the Eagles at least having Bryce Huff and hopefully getting more out of him as the season progresses for a whole lot less, versus maybe trying to keep Reddick, trying to not pay him, and dealing with the ongoing headache that is happening in New York. A big shout out to everyone who checked out the PhillyLink.com yesterday, ordered a couple of your Always Open or QB1 or any of the other t-shirts that Josh Davis and myself are collaborating on as the new merchandise for this channel. If you haven't checked it out, link down below in my description box, and of course stay tuned for plenty more coverage happening the next couple of days and weeks. Get your entries in for the Brian Westbrook jersey down below in the comment section. Comment Westbrook. We'll get that to you guys hopefully with a winner probably Thursday, Friday. We'll see how it goes. Either way, I'm Thomas Mott. This has been the Thomas Mott Show.
Back.